Let's say you meet someone with an unusual name, and then suddenly you encounter that name repeatedly in various contexts, in the news, in movies, or in social media posts. Before meeting this person, it seems like you never even heard of this name, but now it's popping up everywhere. This is not a coincidence. It's called the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, also known as the frequency illusion. Frequency illusion occurs when something recently learned or noticed suddenly seems to appear with high frequency. Our minds latch onto patterns, sparking a deeper cognitive process called pattern recognition. Pattern recognition is the way in which we identify and make sense of regularities in our earthly experiences, not only our personal ones, but also recurring themes in literature, history, or art. This ability allows us to make sense of the world. Without it, the world would constantly remain a mystery, as we'd be living in a kind of Groundhog Day, where everything we encounter would appear completely new, over and over again. Sounds like being born, doesn't it? If you ask people who believe in rebirth, they will eagerly confirm that each new life can be like a Groundhog Day. In this video, we will explore how one can tailor this constant brain process to their personal will. Patterns are observations organized into meaningful categories by the observer. When you start seeking patterns in the world, you start to inhale chaos and exhale order, which builds confidence and a feeling of control. We don't need to do anything. With its network of neurons and synapses, the human brain is already a master at pattern recognition. The visual cortex does all the work, processing and interpreting patterns from sensory input. What is important is that we consciously become aware of which patterns we want to see more of in our lives. This is where it gets really interesting. The country and the culture in which you live plays a big part in how you perceive and recognize patterns. Studies have shown that people from Eastern cultures tend to focus more on contextual information, whereas those from Western cultures prioritize object-focused details. But what does this mean, exactly? In Eastern cultures, patterns play in the background. Relationships of things to things, situational factors. There's a focus on the spaces between words, the silence that carries meaning, and the subtle connections that are not immediately obvious. It's about feeling the essence and understanding the unsaid. Kukiyumu is a Japanese phrase for reading the air. The equivalent translation in English is reading the room or reading between the lines. It is a common practice in Japanese society. Anywhere, at any time, if you can't do it, you will be labeled as kai, which means somebody who can't take a hint. Now, Western cultures are precision cultures. It's all about prioritizing object-focused details, such as specific facts, individual actions, and tangible outcomes. Communication tends to be more direct and explicit, with an emphasis on clarity and precision. People who grew up in these countries may prefer explicit instructions and clear goals. The Western scientific approach is centered around identifying patterns through data and analysis. Think of Jungian psychoanalysis, evidence-based medicine, market research, and consumer behavior analysis. It's all about dissecting information and finding clarity through direct answers. The way we organize data in our brain is often not our conscious choice, until it is, and that is the beginning of unlimited perception. Understanding these cultural perspectives opens up a new way of seeing the world. Consider this. The brain's ability to recognize patterns is the same ability that led to the creation of art, music, and even scientific breakthroughs. The patterns in the stars guided ancient sailors across vast oceans. The patterns in DNA unlocked the secrets of life itself. You have the same innate ability to see these patterns and use them to guide your own journey. Let's do a little experiment. Think about a challenge you are facing right now. Maybe it's a problem at work, a personal goal, or a relationship issue. Now pause and look at it through the lens of patterns. What recurring themes do you notice? What similarities does this situation have with past experiences? How can recognizing these patterns give you new insights and solutions? All thought patterns become recognizable when you focus on thoughts and emotions that repeat themselves. Therapists use this technique all the time to improve a patient's control over stress and circular thinking. People do not grow chronologically. We grow sometimes in one dimension and not in another, unevenly. We grow partially. We are relative. We are mature in one realm and childish in another. The past, present, and future mingle and pull us backward, forward, or fix us in the present. We are made up of layers, cells, constellations. Besides the influence of culture on our pattern-seeing style, our character is also in play. Pattern recognition is not so much a skill, it is a vision, a filter through which you comprehend the world. The things you see outside are seen through your pattern filter. To understand what type of filter you have, there are various projective psychological tests. The most famous of them is the Rorschach test, created by Swiss psychologist Hermann Rorschach in 1921. It consists of 10 ink blots printed on cards. 5 cards are black and white, and the other 5 are colored. During the test, a subject is shown each card and asked to describe what they see. The responses can give you insight into your mind's filter. By doing this test, you can clearly see how your mind is wired to find meaning and order in ambiguous or chaotic stimuli. We project ourselves onto the observed world. Apophenia is the human tendency to perceive connections and patterns in everything. The Rorschach test leverages this tendency, as individuals often see animals, people, and objects in the ink blots, which are essentially just random shapes. Different people see different things in the same ink blot, reflecting their unique ways of interpreting patterns. This subjectivity is crucial for psychologists to understand how individuals perceive and organize their world. Understanding the nature of your own perception filter will give you power over a vast realm of patterns. What stops us from having a peaceful family dinner can be as simple as not being aware of our innate filter or not noticing the recurring themes. In the next video, we will go into the phenomenon of stranger loops.